Sonic Frontiers will be Sega's most recent attempt at launching a 3D modern game in the Sonic series, and yet here I am comparing it to the performance of the 2D Sonic Origins. You may be wondering why. Well, the simple fact is that Sonic Origins is going to be compared to Sonic Frontiers despite their differences. You need to think about the wider audience that Sega is likely targeting with its newer games. The movies have both combined brought quite a few new faces and people that thought they were done with the series back into focus, many of which will be interested to try out and play Sonic the Hedgehog games. And as a result of that desire, we've seen Sega on numerous occasions try to launch or promote different things around the movie audience in particular. Sonic Colors Ultimate, for instance, came with memorabilia and collectibles referencing the movie, as well as some in-game items and effects. But there's been more than just that. Sonic Origins is a collection of past games, but these past games are the classic Sonic games, and regardless of what some people's opinions may be on a few of those, the general consensus is that they were all solid games. Their legacy is big enough to help carry them in the minds of a consumer and push sales alone. Then you top into the fact that the Sonic movies is focused around Sonic, Tails, Knuckles and Robotnik, who feature heavily in those classic games and also refer to them in their credit scenes and other references, means the movie audience who may have never played a Sonic game before have a big active interest in testing out Sonic Origins. And most importantly on that fact is that if they are someone that has barely or never played a Sonic game before, Sonic Origins will be the experience for them. They won't have a past version of those 4 games to compare with the Origins point. And what I'm getting at with on that is that yes, Sonic Origins is not a perfect remake of those originals, or remaster, whichever they call it, because there are differences and there are bugs and problems, but if you never played the originals, these are still those original games at the end of the day, and because you don't have a more stable version to compare, this is it for you, and because those games are good, you'll probably enjoy it. And that's not to say there's no perks to Origins. You get the cutscenes that people enjoy, you get the remastered visuals, in particular the widescreen, which, especially if you're younger, most people probably wouldn't want to play the letterbox smaller aspect ratio versions compared to this new widescreen version, so that's going to be a big draw as well. Frontiers, on the other hand, is going to be a huge undertaking for Sega and Sonic Team because it's the largest Sonic game to date, with the biggest scope, the most features, and the longest playtime, or so they say. All of this is going to make it difficult to have a consistent experience. If there are too many troughs of low periods in the game, or if the highs aren't too good, then it's going to make the experience feel perhaps a bit middling. If the open world sensation wears off fast with not much else to do, it's going to harm it in the eyes of the consumer. And if they could say, well, I could just purchase Origins and get 4 games for the price of 1 Frontiers, why would I ever play Frontiers? Of course, Frontiers could be amazing, but then there's the other issue: bugs. No matter how good the game is, if there are too many bugs, it's going to have a negative impact. Yes, Sonic Origins does have some bugs, and there are people, whether it's you or not, who are demanding and waiting for an official patch because for them it's just not good enough. But if Frontiers was riddled with bugs, even if they weren't catastrophic, it could severely harm its representation to the public in comparison to Sonic Origins, not to mention the fact that there is a very prevalent pre-existing stigma for 3D Sonic games and their bugs. It would just compound the issue further, harming Sonic Frontiers. This is hardly helped by the performance of Sonic Colors Ultimate when it released, because despite the fact it was only a remaster and shouldn't have had to start from the ground up, it unfortunately came out in a very bugged and glitched state, which did make headlines on the news and has impacted people's opinions of either that game or Sega as a whole, whether it was patched or not. The first impression is the strongest, and everybody heard about that dreadful launch. So the idea that a 3D Sonic game could be buggy and incomplete is firmly in the consumer's mind. Of course, you could make the argument that because Sega has been hyping up this game so much and saying that this is going to be the next step forward for the 10 years, the next decade rather, they would put more efforts to ensure its quality. But if you look at Sega's track record, especially recently, it's very hard to say if they will have actually put in the quality control measures they should have for this game, or if they're going to do a botched job. Very inconsistent track record. Honestly, you can't say either way with certainty unless you have some insider information, which I don't. So let's say things don't go amazingly for Frontiers and people might start saying Origins was the better product. So what? The game comes out, a game passes, life goes on. Well, here's the thing. If that is what happens to some degree, there is a decent risk that the 3D Sonic series as a whole will be negatively affected, to the point where it might begin being phased out completely. How, you may ask? Well, this has sort of happened at multiple points in the past, but let's look at Sonic Forces. You had Sonic Mania's release, which did outstandingly for what they thought it was going to perform, and then you had Sonic Forces, which was a rather disappointing release. And what happened is that Sega would spend all of their time gloating about Sonic Mania, whilst kind of ignoring Forces for the most part. And this helped sustain the classic bias that had been going on for quite a while, where classic Sonic and 2D Sonic was seen as superior to 3D Sonic, and so it should get more effort, or at least more attention, put into it. You could make a very good argument that if the 2D games are better, then Sonic should just stick to that. And it is compelling, but my take on that would be there's no good reason for 3D Sonic to be performing so severely below its 2D counterpart. 3D has so many opportunities to create something unique that haven't been capitalized on, and it's also successfully done a 3D Sonic game more than one time in the past, but they're just not being used in the modern games at all. So if the modern 3D Sonic style was just phased out completely, that would be extremely disappointing, because for one, I enjoy 3D Sonic when it's good, and secondly, there's so much opportunities they're just not using. It would be a clear example of lacking skill, and they're just blaming it on the concept rather than on themselves. If those rumours of an upcoming 2D modern Sonic game are true, then this would further hamper in the idea that 3D Sonic would be in a bad space if Frontiers can't carry the torch. Of course, I'm more than happy to hear that we might be getting a new 2D modern Sonic game, so long as it plays as good as the others. But if 3D Sonic disappears, that would be a shame. Ultimately, Sonic Frontiers has a lot to carry on its shoulders, and a lot to lose if it can't live up to its own expectations. What do you think about this conundrum? Is it something that's serious, or am I perhaps over-examining things? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. It really does help out the channel as well as boost the video's performance. If you would like to further assist me, sharing the video, liking and subscribing would help immensely. I hope you have a great day, and to see you next time. This is the Mighty Emperor, signing off.